News. This is Fox 17 News at 9, your Code Red station.
New tonight, state lawmakers call it a wrap. They are now headed home after heated debates over everything from a bill to arm teachers to expanded school vouchers.
Well, Governor Bill Lee and other Republican leaders are touting several big wins. Some of those include criminal justice reform bills, like giving the option of the death penalty for child rapists. The governor also signed into law a plan to protect the music industry from artificial intelligence. But Republicans came up short on allowing state money to help with private school tuition, something the governor was passionate about.
We didn't complete that task, but sometimes very important big issues take some time to complete. The work that we did advanced us to a place where it will be much easier and much more likely that we'll get that passed next year, and I feel certain we will.
Now, Democrats who got little to nothing out of this session are celebrating tonight the defeat of that school choice bill.
This is something that takes money away from taxpayers and puts it into private schools. It's something that has not proven to be successful, and I'm thankful that, you know, as a General Assembly, we shut that down.
Democrats say a lot of teachers, school districts, and parents were working with them against expanded vouchers.
Also new tonight, Tennessee lawmakers extended its record-setting string, what critics call anti-LGBTQ laws. State lawmakers passed a bill punishing adults who help children get gender-affirming care without parental permission. This includes helping a child travel to another state or helping them track down information on services. Supporters say this is all about keeping children from making life-altering decisions. This includes a law requiring public school employees tell parents if their child is transgender. Foster parents can also opt to not take a child who is LGBTQ. The Human Rights Campaign says Tennessee enacted more anti-LGBTQ laws than any other state since 2015. And a crisis in the classroom as protests continue at the state capitol. Governor Bill Lee does say that he plans to sign a bill allowing teachers to carry handguns on public school campuses. Those teachers have to meet certain criteria, though. Fox 17 News' Kylie Walker breaking down that debate tonight.
Controversy continues at the Capitol, with groups yelling "Vote them out" as lawmakers head to recess in what could be their last week of session. As groups plan an organized march over the weekend, calling on the governor to put a stop to the bill, Covenant Mother Melissa Alexander has a similar request.
I would just appeal to him and say, like, leave a legacy, do this for our community, and help us work towards a better bill next session. Let's veto this one.
Alexander is in support of schools having armed SROs.
We believe in fully trained staff that have more training than what this bill requires.
But she says the burden should not fall on teachers.
We don't believe that should involve a handgun, let alone a concealed weapon that is tiny and would not really be able to go up against an assault-style weapon.
But Governor Bill Lee does say he plans to sign the bill to law.
Districts have the option to choose. And as has been reported, there are many districts that are considering that option.
But State Rep Jody Barrett says it's about getting more people that are well trained on the scene to respond quickly. As he says, in the rural areas, some schools are nearly 20 miles away from the nearest sheriff's department with fewer resources.
It may take 15 to 20 minutes before an officer could even arrive on the scene, much less assess what the situation is and be able to go in.
More than 30 other states have passed legislation allowing teachers to carry guns in schools. And Barrett says the most recent bill that passed here in Tennessee is really an expansion to a law passed in 2016 that allowed teachers to carry in economically distressed counties.
Not all rural counties are distressed, so we have a lot of rural counties that have the same need and wanted to have the same opportunity or option to use this as part of their safety plan, but they didn't meet the qualifications from an economic standpoint to be declared distressed.
Barrett says there's over 500 SRO openings that have not been filled. I'm Kylie Walker reporting for Fox 17 News at 9.
This issue getting national attention as well. Vice President Kamala Harris among those weighing in. She posted on social media saying, arming teachers is not the answer. We know what actually works. Universal background checks, red flag laws, safe storage, and an assault weapons ban. She goes on to say, shame on the Tennessee legislature for failing to protect our children.
Crisis in the Classroom is Fox 17 News' commitment to exposing problems in our schools and finding solutions. If you have a story that you think we should cover, send us an email to news@fox17.com. You can also call our tip line. The number there on your screen, 615-266-4149.
Staying at the Capitol one day after it appeared to be dead, the largest tax cut in Tennessee history is now on its way to the governor's desk. The franchise tax rebate bill does away with a long-standing business property tax, but it comes at a substantial cost.
Since 1937, Tennessee businesses have been paying a franchise tax based on their net worth or the value of the property they own, whichever is greater. This bill gets rid of the property language for good. It's a tax that generates just under $400 million a year. Democrats call it a corporate handout.
If you vote for this bill, I don't want to hear the word fiscal conservative come out of your mouth, because there is nothing fiscally conservative or fiscally responsible about a $1.7 billion handout.
This tax has been found unconstitutional in other states, and Governor Bill Lee wanted to let it go before we get sued. This bill lets businesses apply for rebates dating back 3 years. That's where that $1.7 billion comes from.
The vast majority of the businesses that will be getting a rebate, as you can see in these tranches or buckets, if you will, are small businesses. These are businesses that are getting less than $10,000 back.
The bill was up for a final vote in both houses this afternoon after differences were ironed out in a conference committee this morning. The House bill only called for 1 year of rebates.
The House does not roll over to the Senate and bow down to the Senate, folks. I'm shocked that this body would agree to something like this.
Transparency on those rebates was a major sticking point. The final bill will show the names of the businesses and the range of rebate, but not the specific amount.
Tennessee companies have until November the 15th to file for one of those rebates. House Republican leaders say 98% of the companies involved here will receive $50,000 in rebates or less.
If you look at the most horrible things that are happening in Nashville, you can connect these crimes with low or no bond. Believe it or not, we're going to prove it next.
Vacation at home sale at Family Leisure. Unbeatable deals on patio furniture, pools, shade solutions, spas, and more. Vacation at home sale going on now at Family Leisure.
Well, it's something that we're seeing more and more of here in Nashville. Violent crimes committed by violent criminals who are free on bond.
That's scary stuff, to be sure. Nashville is now making national headlines as repeat offenders inflict more pain. Fox 17 News' Dennis Ferrier with the story in tonight's Fox 17 News Investigates.
Some of the things we fear are possibilities. If we do this, then this might happen. Well, this is not like that. Some judges are letting violent criminals out on low or no bond, and they are hurting people. We will show you if you don't believe us.
Adrian Cameron Jr. leapt onto Nashville's most wanted list. The 19-year-old is accused of robbing and murdering California rapper Chris King outside of a music studio last weekend. It's not like it's a surprise. He was out on bond for another murder in 2021. The judge let him out on $100,000 bond. That's just $10,000, and put him on an ankle bracelet. He cut it off just before the alleged murder. For many, it's as plain as that giant 357 gang tattoo on Mr. Cameron's neck. He was too dangerous to let out on bond.
We do have example after example, and sadly, we don't always hear about them. But there are so many of them now. They're starting to stack up, and there's attention is being paid, and thank the Lord, attention is being paid. We've got to be serious about this.
Looking at low bond is like looking into a bottomless well of misery. Remember Easter Sunday? How shocking, a man killed one person and shot 5 others at Easter brunch. at the busy and charming little roasted restaurant in Salem town.
Shocking until you think about it. Anton Rucker is the alleged shooter. He's just out on bond after a crazy road rage incident in Rutherford County. $50,000 bond, so he's out for $5,000. $5,000 puts him here Easter Sunday so he can start shooting people. And he is a career criminal. It would take 5 minutes to tell you all the horrible things and all the suffering this man has caused in the last 25 years. But he was out. And was that in the best interest of this community?
It's just, what in the world? But you know what? That could have been prevented. That guy was out on a very low bond for something that he had already done that was very similar to that. He was a felon. He was carrying a weapon. He had a long criminal history. Why are we letting him back out on the street? Because that's his job. His job is violence, addiction, chaos, and victimization. That's his job.
Again, recent headlines. A woman threatens to shoot up a daycare in the Bellevue area. She has a gun. Her bond is only $37,000. Shanika Coward gets to go home immediately for just $3,700. Remember, for bond, you only put up 10%. Out the same day. Here's a question. If you're angry and commit a crime and go home the same day, have you changed your mind about anything?
If whatever your normal is your normal, you're going to continue it until you have an intervention, even if you've been arrested for a crime.
And we've interrupted interventions, haven't we?
Interrupted interventions.
What's happening here? The right to bail is in the Tennessee Constitution. Quote, that all prisoners shall be bailable by sufficient sureties unless for capital offenses. Also, the ability to pay bond is a constitutional consideration for judges. So if you're poor and you can't pay, judges can reduce or let you out with no bond. This is exactly what's happening in Tennessee. But how can you consider poverty more important than public safety? Because public safety is also a constitutional bond consideration. Representative William Lamberth, Majority Leader in the Tennessee House of Representatives.
So how do we keep our community safe? That's the number one thing that any judge or magistrate should be looking at is, again, bond is to ensure the safety of the community and ensure the appearance of the defendant. We want to make sure that that safety of the community is the number one. That's the first thing they're looking at.
Leader Lamberth is leading a charge to change laws in Tennessee to make the state safer from violent criminals. Because remember, as powerful as judges are, they still have to follow the law.
And the legislative branch serves directly the people of Tennessee. And we've heard loud and clear from our constituents that they want to be safer in their communities. And so we're changing those laws that some folks have taken advantage of to put violent criminals out on the street.
Now accused double killer Mr. Cameron will probably be finally kept in jail. Too late for his victims.
Not laws, several of them. We are going to continue this deep probe into Low Bond Monday with a look at how some of these new laws might change some of these recent headlines. I'm Dennis Ferrier, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
I think we've all been enjoying that shift into slightly warmer temperatures. A little bit of rain tonight, nothing we can't get through.
No, not at all. And the good news is, especially this time of year, we don't have any severe weather to worry about. So
just rain.
Just rain.
Sweet.
We'll take
those
it.
April showers.
That's right.
Yeah.
April showers. They're behaving themselves tonight. Yes, and this is what we're seeing here on radar. Just some light rain and a little bit more off to the west. All of this, though, moving through kind of an interesting movement with these. These are moving from the southwest, pushing to the north and to the east here, kind of at this angle. So we'll continue to find showers as we head towards the evening hours tonight. But by tomorrow, midday, most of this is gone. The 80s are returning as well for Friday, and it looks like the weekend a little bit breezy too as we head towards Saturday especially. So morning hours here, may see a stray shower 10 a.m. Otherwise a mostly cloudy sky. Most of this rain will be early in the morning. Temperature around 67 up to about 80 by 2 and hovering in those low 80s for the remainder of the day. with a partly cloudy sky. As we take a look, wind speeds will start to pick up a little bit heading into Friday afternoon, even some gusts up to about 20. That'll be the case for Saturday as well, especially as we head into the late morning hours and into the afternoon. Some of these wind gusts by Saturday afternoon could be in that 20 to 25 mile per hour range. So a bit on the breezy side for those that are running the marathon on Saturday morning. Not only that, a pretty mild start for the race as well. Typically runners, we like that temperature to be more in the 50s if we can, even the 40s in some cases. But this will be a pretty mild start for us for those that are running. Temperature sitting at 72, 76 as we head towards the late morning hours. Winds again starting to pick up as well, about 10 to 20. But the good news is we're dry as we head through Saturday. So let's take you through tonight. Showers continue to push their way throughout Middle Tennessee. A few moderate pockets will be possible, but that should be about all we get. By 12 noon, rain is clearing out. The potential for a stray shower into the late part of the afternoon, it's possible, but should not be widespread across the area. And then we get into Saturday. Notice we do keep a lot of the cloud cover around for Saturday. That'll be the story as we go through the first half of the day. A stray shower possible as well for Saturday afternoon. I do think the beginning of the marathon and the majority of the morning should be dry. Better rain chance, stray chance will come in the afternoon and into the evening. Here's 5 p.m. Then we get into Saturday night, early Sunday morning, and same thing, looking at a partly cloudy sky. Not to mention too, temperatures warmer still for Saturday and for Sunday. Notice Sunday a little bit more sunshine expected before that next good chance for rain arrives, which will come in on Monday of next week. 56 our temperature for tonight. The rain is moving in. We look at a mild evening, and for tomorrow right around 82 with again a few showers in the morning, but clearing as we head into the afternoon. We'll talk more about your weekend forecast and more on this rain chance as we head into early next week. That's coming up.
During the Customer Appreciation Sales Event at Matthews Nissan. Get 2.9% for 60 months on a new Pathfinder or Altima. Plus, get a lifetime warranty. MatthewsNissan.com.
New tonight, pro-Palestine protests are gaining steam with more college campuses seeing heated demonstrations.
Now, police have arrested hundreds of students this week alone. Fox 17 News' Kayla Gaskins has more on that. You can let us know what you think by scanning the QR code that will appear on your screen during our story.
Anti-Israel protests gaining steam cross-country as officials attempt to crack down. A protest encampment popping up Thursday morning at George Washington University in D.C. Demonstrators calling for violence against the Jewish state. Also on Thursday, what's being dubbed the Intifada tent camp emerging on campus at the City College of New York. On Wednesday, more than 100 Emerson student protesters arrested in Boston. In Texas, 57 UT Austin students arrested at another protest. Nearly 100 more arrested for trespassing at the University of Southern California after ignoring a dispersal order. In response, the Council on American Islamic Relations condemning USC's actions, calling the crackdown a forcible suppression of free speech. Meanwhile, critics pointing out how slow many universities have responded to what they call the harassment of Jewish students compared to the swift action taken in the past for perceived harassment of other groups.
Most are very slow, cowardly, and unprincipled in their willingness to stand up to protect their students, to enforce their codes of conduct in a uniform way.
Washington getting tangled in the tensions. Speaker Mike Johnson visiting Columbia this week, making his stance clear.
Neither Israel nor these Jewish students on this campus will ever stand alone.
Others, like Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, backing the protesters.
The power of young people shaping this country.
When lawmakers return to Capitol Hill next week, this issue will still likely be top of mind. There's already a House GOP-led hearing set for May 8th to examine anti-Semitism in the K-12 education system. On Capitol Hill, I'm Kayla Gaskins.
During the story, we had a QR code up linking you to a poll asking whether you think colleges in our country are doing enough to protect Jewish students and staff on campus. You see the result, 357 votes in, 85.4% say no, under 15% say yes. Thank you for taking time to vote.
Well, a former Mid-State mayor facing charges tonight, how renovations at a fire department landed him in hot water.
And the Titans on the clock tonight with the number 7 pick.
Garlic butter. Need we say more? Sonic Garlic Butter Bacon Cheeseburger.
This Fox 17 newscast is sponsored by B.F. Myers Furniture.
We're here to actually do things for the citizens and not just line our own pockets for the first time.
Just saddens me that I feel like it's a personal vendetta.
New tonight, former Millersville Mayor Tim Lassiter is charged with document fraud. This comes after years of tension over leadership in that mid-state city and a lot of recent turnover. Fox 17 News' Caitlin Miller live in Millersville now with reaction to this arrest.
The city attorney says that the former mayor, Tim Lassiter, issued himself a permit and made himself the contractor of a project to renovate the living quarters at the fire department. But a city commissioner we spoke with today argues this is not the case. This is the document former Millersville Mayor Tim Lassiter is accused of issuing for a Millersville Fire Department renovation without approval from the Tennessee State Fire Marshal's office. The work permit is issued to Lassiter himself.
We learned that the fire department was not up to code and could not be used as quarters, essentially. You can't have anybody sleeping in there.
City Attorney Bryant Kroll says once they discovered this, they took action and investigated because he says it's going to cost the fire department hundreds of thousands of dollars.
That's when we discovered that Mr. Lassiter had issued himself a permit, which is illegal.
But Millersville Commissioner Christina Template doesn't think Lassiter is guilty.
Just saddens me that I feel like it's a personal vendetta.
Template questions why Lassiter's name was stamped with an online signature instead of a physical signature. And she adds, with no contractor listed.
Except for the fire sleeping quarters one, where there's not an original signature, it's just an electronic signature. And I don't believe that Tim Lassiter, I don't think he had anything to do with that.
Hi, Tim. This is Caitlin Miller calling with Fox 17 News. We reached out to Lassiter, and he told Fox 17 News he's waiting for a court date. Fox 17 News also reached out to the district attorney, Ray Whitley, and he says he will be meeting with Millersville Police Department about this case. But Kroll argues it's time for people in Millersville to be held accountable and arrested when they do something wrong.
For the first time, things are starting to look right. And so we're going to continue on with this course of action.
Kroll says that they are working on getting a full-time EMS department, and they also want a full-time fire department with non-volunteers. He says that they are working on fixing these renovations, but they're waiting on getting the best estimate. Reporting live from Millersville, I'm Caitlin Miller, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Well, tonight's the night, the 2024 NFL Draft currently underway in Detroit, where the Tennessee Titans had the 7th overall pick. Fox 17 Sports Director Jill Jelnick is following the developments from the draft, and she joins us here in studio. Busy night for you, Jill.
Ooh, busy, Megan, but we love it this time of year. Now, we knew the Titans' biggest area of need going into the draft tonight was offensive line, specifically that left tackle position, and they addressed that right away by selecting Alabama tackle J.C. Latham with the 7th overall pick. Now, Latham was actually the 2nd offensive tackle drafted in the top 7 picks tonight, with Notre Dame's Joe Alt selected 5th by the LA Chargers. And Titans general manager Ran Carthon said after the selection that they had a feeling the Chargers would actually take Alt at number 5, which then led them to Latham. Now, the former Crimson Tide star played in 41 games at Alabama over the last 3 seasons. A majority of those games were at right tackle. Titans do have a need at both tackle positions, but Carthon did say that Latham would start him at left tackle moving forward, something that Latham feels is right on cue.
I started at left. I was recruited to Alabama as a left, and then I decided,
Evan Neal, he was there, going to the Giants. And but before all that happened, he made the decision. He wanted to play left, and, he was a great tackle. So I just decided to go to right. I trained at right literally when I got to Alabama. I was never a right tackle. And, so I know, just with hard work, dedication.
Titans just getting started with their busy draft weekend. The team will pick up again tomorrow for rounds 2 and 3. You can see there the Titans only with 1 pick tomorrow in the second round, and then rounds 4 through 7 will start up again on Saturday, starting at 11 a.m. Other positions of need for the Titans include receiver, edge rusher, also possibly some help in the secondary, but they certainly address their biggest need, taking one of the top tackles in the first round. Jill Jelnick, Fox 17 Sports, your Code Red station.
Jill, thank you. Of course, we always want to know what our viewers think, and tonight our question is, do you think the Titans will have more wins this season than they did last? 244 votes weighing in, and despite what's started out as a good draft for us, people are not super sure. 52.9% say yes, but 47% say no. Our thanks to all who voted. If you want to vote, just scan the QR code there, and we will update these numbers again coming up on Fox 17 News at 10.
The end of April, not usually a time that we think about snow in Nashville, but it's happened before. And as Fox 17 Code Red meteorologist Brett Luna shows us, it's not always the case. Sometimes we even break those weather records.
Back on this day 114 years ago, back in 1910, it got cold. So cold, in fact, that it holds the record for Nashville's latest freeze. We dropped down to 32 degrees right here in Nashville. And on top of that, we also picked up 1.5 inches of snow in Nashville, too. Some areas got even more than that. The McMinnville area picked up more than 8 inches of snow. More than 8 inches of snow in late April. That is wild. Woodbury picked up 6 inches of snow, and then Hopkinsville got 5 inches. Several spots near and west of Interstate 24 had between 3 to 4 inches. Clarksville, Springfield, and Lafayette all got more than 3 inches of snow with that system. Fortunately for any of y'all that have your gardens planted already this year, it's looking like you're in the clear for the year. High temperatures for the next several days will be in the 80s, and low temperatures will be around the 60s. And then as we look out to the following week, we're still looking really good too. The Climate Prediction Center giving us a good chance for above normal temperatures across Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky.
Bonus cash on a 2023 F-150, only at your local Ford dealer.
This Fox 17 newscast is sponsored by Eurostone.
In the high cost of homelessness, more frustration tonight from those who live and work near Brookmeade Park in West Nashville. After complaining for years, they finally got the city to close the park down back in January of 2023 and remove the homeless who had taken it over. Fox 17 News' Amanda Chen shows us what they're saying now after learning Brookmeade Park won't reopen until 2025.
Well, these neighbors were very outspoken about the homeless encampment inside Brookmeade Park for years. They pushed for change, but are not happy with this slow-moving process to restore the park.
The Metro Parks board chair says it's a long process to get Brookmeade Park back to the community. We showed you what it used to look like inside the park for more than a decade. The community and city leaders acknowledged it was not a safe place for anyone to be. So when it finally closed, the community was hopeful. Now, a year and a half later, the Metro Parks board chair tells me the procurement process is still happening while they are working to finalize the contractor. The parks board chair also says the park will return to its original state, and because of the topography, contractors will just restore walking paths and will add nothing new.
It absolutely looks like they were paying us lip service. They had no intention of doing anything to this park to make it ready for the community to use. And the fact that they did it this way is so distrustful. There's no transparency, there's no communication.
We know a big concern from the community is securing the park once it opens so it doesn't turn into another encampment. But these community members tell me they do not feel like their responsibility should fall on them to report evidence of a homeless encampment. Rather, they hope Metro Parks police patrol the area and provide resources for the park. Reporting in the studio, I'm Amanda Chen, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Well,
Well, in the economy, you could have money coming and not even know it. 1 in every 6 Tennesseans has unclaimed property, essentially missing money, and the state wants to write you a check. How big is this pot of unclaimed money here in Tennessee?
Oh goodness, there's more than $1 billion in Tennessee waiting to be claimed.
Billion?
Billion with a B.
How you can cash in Friday on Fox 17 News at 9.
Coming up, talking more about what we can expect for the next few days, including the Preds party downtown for tomorrow ahead of the big game.
The competition is heating up. Who's working to win our local
Bacon, garlic, butter. Need we say more? Sonic Garlic Butter Bacon Cheeseburger.
This Fox 17 newscast is sponsored by Electronic Express. We make it happen.
In your entertainment news, we are checking back in with a Mount Juliet farmer competing on season 2 of Farmer Wants a Wife right here on Fox. The show aired right before our newscast tonight. And we've got Farmer Mitchell Kalinsky joining us live. Thanks for being here, Mitchell.
Hey, I'm happy to be here as always. Thank you all.
Yeah, we got a lot going on. In tonight's episode, we know it's down to the final 2 ladies, Sydney and Kate. Take us back to that moment. Where was your head at that point?
You know, I hadn't gone out to meet Kate's family yet, but going into it, had a great, strong connection with Sydney. So I was really excited to see where she was from up in New Jersey. Totally different than down here in Middle Tennessee. So I was excited. It was great meeting her family.
Yeah, her dad took you away for a grilling one-on-one session. That was fun to watch. How were the hometown dates influencing your feelings? You know, you've got one more date to go on, but could meeting the family be a make or break moment of picking one girl over another?
Yeah, 100%. It's so impactful on my final decisions because that's where they're from, you know, and that's their nearest and dearest. So I have to make sure I got a good connection with them.
Yeah, so it sounds like things went so far so good on your first hometown date.
Yes, ma'am.
Next week is the final hometown date, and then you've got a big decision ahead of you. What is your gut telling you? Are you growing more confident in your choice ahead or more hesitant?
You know, you get mixed feelings every day. I'm definitely growing, learning as I go because this is it's unlike any other process. So I have to take it a little bit different, but it's going great.
Well, that's so awesome. And then I know the finale is coming up here on May 9th. Why don't you tell everybody where you're going to be? You got a lot of people here in Nashville rooting you on and would love to meet you.
Yeah, would be honored to have people out, and please come by and say hello. But we'll be at PBR Bar downtown. I'm going to be celebrity bartending, and I'm really looking forward to meeting some new folks and having a lot of people from the show there. So it's going to be a special finale.
All right, Mitchell, we can't wait to see who you decide there in the end, and hopefully the lucky lady moves back here to Nashville.
Thank you so much.
All right, we will check in with you soon.
Bye-bye.
Well, from photos and music on your cell phone to programs on your computer, nearly everybody relies on the cloud, at least on some level, to save memories. But what happens to your data if you lose something that's more valuable than just the memories? In tonight's Inside Your World Investigates, our Mark Hyman takes a look at banks using the cloud.
A lot of people that are using the cloud don't really understand where the data is going, how it's controlled, and how it's secured.
The cloud refers to software, programs, and databases that are stored on remote servers that can be accessed via the internet 24/7. There's been rising concern over the potential vulnerability of cloud service providers, or CSPs. There are hundreds of CSPs, but the 3 largest, Amazon, Microsoft, and Google, control 2/3 of all cloud services globally.
That's the great white whale, isn't it?
Well, to a certain extent, yes. It's the scary thing.
Rob Enderle is a technology analyst who's worked for Fortune 500 companies. He told us CSPs must be vigilant 100% of the time to protect against attack.
And with AI, you can do phishing at scale. You could phish every single employee in a company with AI.
Phishing is when hackers send email enticing an employee to reveal confidential information or to click on a link that might release malware or malicious code to infect a network.
We're reaching a point where we could have a catastrophic problem.
This is more than speculation. In 2016, it was learned Chinese intelligence hackers breached as many as a dozen CSPs, giving them broad and unprecedented access to perhaps hundreds of companies and government agencies. Intrusions may have begun as early as 2010, The Chinese government has denied involvement.
And if data is the new gold, the cloud needs to be like Fort Knox.
John Pendleton was a 35-year investigator with the Government Accountability Office. He recently led a major scrutiny of cloud services as a non-resident scholar for the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace.
After a year of study, we did conclude that the cloud providers were too big to fail. And that's because so much of our lives, daily lives, our commerce, is concentrated in only a few companies.
Possible threats to the cloud include external state actors such as Russia, China, and North Korea. Before the Russia invasion, Ukraine was home to a large population of cyber criminals. Terror and criminal groups are also possible. Then there are the internal actors, such as a disgruntled employee. Even a technical failure or natural disaster pose some risk.
And I'm more concerned about is a loss of trust. You don't have to shut the system down to cause problems. If you get in and you affect something like bank accounts, that could have a widespread economic impact.
Pendleton's Carnegie study offers a roadmap at how CSPs could assure the public their systems are secure.
We offered a cloud resilience framework where the cloud providers could demonstrate and assure the public and policymakers that what they're doing will be resilient. We are going to be attacked, right? We are being attacked.
For Inside Your World Investigates, I'm Mark Hyman in Bend, Oregon.
Fairly quiet night so far, but we've got showers to our south and to our west that will fill in as we head through the evening hours tonight. Pretty light rain. I don't expect a lot in the rain gauge even. And tomorrow morning we'll wake up with a few showers around for the morning commute and for kids at the bus stop here, but it's not going to be widespread, so you may or may not see some of those rain showers around, but I do think we are all looking at mostly cloudy skies. Generally mild start to the morning too, with those temperatures in the mid to upper 50s. Here's a look at the radar. Kind of a wide view shows where more of the showers are moving in. These are going to move to the north and east. The bigger story is going to be out west, where we've got several rounds of severe weather possible, stretching from Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, and into Missouri. This is a look at the outlook for tomorrow. Expecting widespread severe weather for folks, especially in northeast Kansas, Topeka, Kansas City, and on up into Omaha here, where we could be looking at some very large hail and the potential for some long track tornadoes. Now, this whole system is just off to our west, and it's going to stay to our west and eventually skirt to the north. So we will not see the severe weather setup that they are dealing with for tomorrow and even into Friday as well. At Bridgestone Arena tomorrow, face-off at 6:30. Temperature outside should be in the 80s. Will be in the low 80s as well for Sunday. If you're planning on going to the Plaza Party, which begins at 3:30, temperatures will be looking good as we head into the evening hours. Still holding in those 70s if you're going to be out and about downtown, maybe watching the game. Very comfortable night, even though we are looking at those showers in the morning. I do expect the rain to clear in time for all the fun downtown on Broadway. Temperatures do pick up a little bit, mid 80s for Saturday and Sunday. Also breezy winds expected for Saturday.
Just ahead, a recall involving thousands of luxury cars. The problem that
This Fox 17 newscast is sponsored by Eurostone.
A recall tonight for several thousand Hyundai vehicles. Genesis, the luxury Hyundai brand, is under recall due to fuel pump issues. It affects more than 31,000 vehicles. Safety regulators say the pumps could fail and cause the engine to stop. Those impacted will get a letter in June, and Hyundai will replace the fuel pumps for free.
In this week's Full Measure, just how much of that COVID money meant to stimulate the U.S. economy during the pandemic was reportedly taken by con artists. The Inspector General of the Small Business Administration says the SBA was scammed out of billions of dollars. A report shows that funds ran out very quickly for legitimate businesses while the crooks cashed in.
Conservatively estimated that $200 billion in potential fraud existed in these programs.
That's shocking. I mean, that, I think your report said, means at least 17% of the funds were dispersed to potentially fraudulent actors, more than $136 billion in EIDLs and $64 billion in PPP. So 17%, that's unacceptably high, isn't it, for fraud?
I would absolutely agree with you that it is, especially when you're talking about $200 billion.
Cheryl Atkinson follows the money as the push to hold those COVID fraudsters, I should say, accountable continues. That's Full Measure Sunday morning at 7:30 and Sunday night at 11 right here on Fox 17.
Well, taking a chance, the very unusual change that Oreo is making to try to bring you a new treat with a twist.
We brew a beer for every taste. Which one you choose is up to you.
Yuengling, the oldest brewery in America.
In consumer news, Oreo, well known, of course, for its creamy, sweet cookie filling. But the company is about to release its first ever sour cookie.
Okay, I don't know. They're really rolling the dice here. Oreo brand teaming up with Sour Patch Kids for a limited edition sweet yet sour taste. The cookies will be available at retailers nationwide starting May 6th.
There are now at least 2 human cases in the United States of bird flu, or avian flu as we know it. I'm Liz Bonus. How to protect against it? It is just ahead.
This is Fox 17 News at 10, your Code Red station.
Not a crisis in the classroom. Governor Lee says that he will sign the bill allowing teachers to carry guns on campus.
But in order to go armed, these teachers would have to clear several hurdles, among them. First, 40 hours worth of gun training every year. And they'd also have to pass a mental health test. Protesters were hoping the governor would veto this bill, but the governor, as we say, plans to sign it. Critics worry about relying on teachers to act as armed security in a crisis. Supporters, though, say this would allow teachers who are qualified and willing to help fill the security gap in rural areas that may have fewer resources.
And I think we're providing a tool here at the legislature with this bill for different counties that have different needs to decide whether or not this is something that is necessary and would fit for their community.
Let's take a moment. This bill was written before Covenant happened, and let's take a pause. Let's revisit. Let's see some things that we can approve and then try and pass a better bill.
While Governor Lee is supportive, he does point out school districts and county sheriffs can both say no, even if the teachers are willing.
This is what accountability looks like.
Just saddens me that I feel like it's a personal vendetta.
New tonight, former Millersville Mayor Tim Lassiter facing charges for document fraud. This comes after years of tension over city leadership and a lot of recent turnover.
Fox 17 News' Caitlin Miller tonight with reaction from, or of, I should say, the former mayor's arrest.
The Millersville city attorney says former mayor Tim Lassiter issued himself a permit and made himself the contractor on a project to renovate the living quarters at the fire department. But a city commissioner we spoke with today says that this is not true. This is the document former Millersville Mayor Tim Lassiter is accused of issuing for a Millersville Fire Department renovation without approval from the Tennessee State Fire Marshal's office. The work permit is issued to Lassiter himself. City Attorney Bryant Kroll says once they discovered this, they took action and investigated, because he says it's going to cost the fire department hundreds of thousands of dollars.
This is what accountability looks like. If you're going to hold somebody accountable for any criminal activities that they've engaged in, then they must be charged with the crime.
Except for the fire sleeping quarters one, where there's not an original signature, it's just an electronic signature. And I don't believe that Tim Lassiter, I don't think he had anything to do with that.
But Millersville Commissioner Christina Template doesn't think Lassiter is guilty. And she adds there's no contractor listed on the document. Kroll says that they will fix the living quarters and are working on getting the best estimate. Reporting from Millersville, I'm Caitlin Miller, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Tonight, a bill calling for the largest tax break in Tennessee history is headed to the governor's desk. The House and Senate brokered a compromise today, repealing the property portion of the franchise tax and gave the measure final approval hours later. That tax right now generates about $400 million a year. The bill will allow businesses to get rebates dating back 3 years to the tune of some $1.7 billion. The state will publish the list of businesses that get money back and ranges for how much they receive, like up to $750, $750 to $10,000, or $10,000 and more.
Now, the governor called this transparency provision unprecedented. I will tell you what's unprecedented. Codifying a $1.75 billion handout and using a false legal argument to justify it.
98% of the potential refund recipients will get less than $50,000. 62% less than $5,000.
Governor Lee says he doesn't know how much his heating and air company, Lee Company, will benefit because he put his interest in a blind trust when he was elected.
Generally a mild start to the morning here as we start things off with mostly cloudy skies for tomorrow and a few lingering light showers that should last up until about noon. We take a look at the morning forecast, though, mid-50s at 7 up to about 61 as we head into the mid-morning hours here. Again, a partly to mostly cloudy sky to start the morning, and it's going to be due to these showers that are starting to push more into Middle Tennessee here. Kind of on the tail end of more intense rainfall in Missouri and then severe weather back in portions of Kansas and Nebraska this evening. We will not have to worry about severe weather. This is a good old-fashioned rain, a little bit closer to home. You can see those light showers starting to march closer to Nashville. Things are quiet at the moment, though, as you can see. And rain timing expected mainly after midnight here. Should be, again, a low chance or just a light chance for showers. That'll linger through mid to late morning for tomorrow. Temperatures here area-wide should be in the low 50s in Clarksville to 55 in Murfreesboro. Could find a few upper 40s up toward the plateau. We'll walk you through the weekend forecast, which does include your marathon forecast. That's all coming up. Megan.
Tonight's the night. The 2024 NFL Draft currently underway in Detroit, where the Tennessee Titans had the 7th overall pick. Fox 17 Sports Director Jill Jelnick been following all of these developments from the draft. She joins us live in the studio with a recap and a breakdown.
Megan, we knew the Titans' biggest area of need going into the draft tonight was the offensive line, and they addressed that right away by selecting Alabama tackle J.C. Latham with the 7th overall pick. Latham was the second offensive tackle drafted in the top 7 picks, with Notre Dame's Joe Alt selected 5th by the L.A. Chargers. Titans general manager Ray Carthon said they had a feeling the Chargers would take Alt with their pick, which then led the Titans to Latham. The former Crimson Tide star played in 41 games over the past 3 seasons, and the majority of those were at right tackle. Now, the Titans do have a need at both tackle spots, left tackle and right tackle, but Carthon did say after drafting Latham that they would start him at left tackle, something that Latham says he feels very comfortable with.
I started at left. I was recruited to Alabama as a left, and then I decided, Evan Neal, he was there, going to the Giants, and but before all that happened, he made the decision. He wanted to play left, and, he was a great tackle. So I just decided to go to right. I trained at right literally when I got to Alabama. I was never a right tackle. And, so I know, just with hard work, dedication.
And how about those grills with that smile, right? Big smile on draft day. Now, the Titans just getting started with their draft weekend. The team will pick up again tomorrow for rounds 2 and 3. Titans, though, with just 1 pick in the second round at number 38 overall. And then rounds 4 through 7 will take place on Saturday, starting at 11 a.m. Some other positions of need for the Titans include wide receiver, edge rusher, and possibly some help in the secondary. But they certainly address their biggest area of need tonight, taking a top tackle in the first round. Jill Jelnick, Fox 17 Sports, your Code Red station.
Well, earlier in the newscast, we told you about our X poll up and running right now, asking, will the Titans have more wins this season than last? We're all optimistic here. Just about 250 people weighing in, 52.7% think yes after a shakeup, new head coach, and 47.3% say no. Well, each night look for a brand new poll on our X page that you can vote in.
Justin.
Fox 17 News, your Code Red station. Alerts, empowers, protects.
This Fox 17 newscast is sponsored by Tennessee Home Buyers.
Update tonight from Baltimore Harbor as the first cargo ship passes through that channel since the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapsed. Now, crews have been working for weeks now trying to remove remnants of the fallen span, the one that collapsed when a cargo ship lost power and slammed into one of the support piers. You see it going down. At least 6 construction workers were killed on that bridge.
Well, coal-fired power plants will have an ultimatum under new Environmental Protection Agency rules: reduce emissions or shut down. The new rules are a key part of President Biden's promise to eliminate carbon pollution from the electricity sector by the year 2035. The new rules target the coal industry and natural gas plants and include a requirement to reduce toxic wastewater pollutants from plants, as well as safely manage coal ash in unlined storage ponds. Industry groups and red states will likely challenge that plan.
Mounting legal troubles for former President Trump. I'm Christine Frizzell with the latest in one case and new details in another.
And coming up.
Get severe storm warnings for your area. Download the free Fox 17 Code Red weather app. This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Zander Insurance.
TikTok is vowing to challenge a newly signed law that forces it to divest from its Chinese parent company ByteDance or face a national ban in the United States. The social media giant's CEO slamming the legislation.
Make no mistake, this is a ban on TikTok and a ban on you and your voice. We will keep fighting for your rights in the courts.
ByteDance has 9 months to sell the company before the potential ban is issued. Walmart is removing self-checkout counters at 2 more stores because of skyrocketing retail theft. Now Walmarts in Cleveland, Ohio, and Shrewsbury, Missouri, will remove their self-checkouts. The stores say it's an effort to improve the in-store shopping experience. But shoppers, at least in Cleveland, say it means they will have to wait in line and stay and get paid. PGA Tour players reportedly getting money earned for not leaving for Live Golf. Tiger Woods reportedly receiving the biggest payout, $100 million, followed by Rory McIlroy at $50 million. Approximately $1 billion will be split between 193 golfers. How much a player receives is based on their career-long achievements. That's business. In New York, CJ Papa, Fox News.
New tonight, the Supreme Court hearing arguments to determine whether former President Trump and future presidents are immune from prosecution for things that they did while in office.
Now, this case stems from the January 6th Capitol riot. Meanwhile, Mr. Trump spent much of this day in a courtroom in New York in another case. Fox 17 News' Christine Frizzell has the story.
It was an early morning campaign stop. Former President Donald Trump shaking hands with construction workers in New York City ahead of his day back in court.
They've taken my constitutional right away with a gag order. That's all it is. It's election interference. This whole thing is election interference.
Inside the courtroom, former National Enquirer publisher David Pecker back on the stand with a focus on a $150,000 payment the magazine made to former Playboy model Karen McDougal, who claimed she had an affair with Trump, to buy the rights of the story and then bury it, an expense for which Pecker says he was never reimbursed, which later played a role in him ending the deal he had with Michael Cohen.
His testimony is that he did this to help Trump and help the Trump campaign for president in 2016. The theory of the case is there was a conspiracy to interfere with the election to prevent voters from knowing about certain relationships and to pay those folks to keep it quiet.
Pecker also admitting he falsely denied the details in this Wall Street Journal article from 2016, telling the court, quote, "I wanted to protect my company, I wanted to protect myself, and I wanted also to protect Donald Trump." Still, experts say proving any illegal behavior will be difficult.
The Trump team is going to say, the former president didn't keep those books, and that whatever was done, people may not like what was done with paying people off not to talk. That's legal. And that's probably done in campaigns more than we know in this country.
This as another round of legal troubles come from Arizona, where a grand jury indicted 18 Trump allies in a fake electors scheme to prevent the lawful transfer of the presidency in the 2020 election, naming Trump as an unindicted co-conspirator in the case. As far as the hush money case, defense attorneys will certainly have plenty of time to cross-examine the witnesses. Among them, former fixer Michael Cohen, who hinted he'd be taking the stand in a matter of weeks. In Washington, I'm Christine Frizzau.
This week on Full Measure, how much federal COVID money meant to stimulate the economy during the pandemic was reportedly stolen by con artists. The Inspector General of the Small Business Administration, the SBA, says the organization was scammed out of billions of dollars. A new report shows that funds ran out quickly for legit small businesses while the crooks cashed in.
We conservatively estimated that $200 billion in potential fraud existed in these programs.
That's shocking. I mean, that, I think your report said, means at least 17% of the funds were dispersed to potentially fraudulent actors, more than $136 billion in EIDLs and $64 billion in PPP. So 17%, that's unacceptably high, isn't it, for fraud?
I would absolutely agree with you that it is, especially when you're talking about $200 billion.
Cheryl Atkinson follows the money as the push to hold those fraudsters accountable continues. That is on Full Measure Sunday morning at 7:30 and Sunday night at 11, right here on Fox 17.
Fairly quiet downtown this evening here, but over the next couple of hours, we'll start to see some showers move in. These will be light in nature. Don't really expect a lot in the rain gauge, but nonetheless, it is a chance for rain that'll be pushing through, pretty scattered though across the area. You may or may not end up with a lot of rain, but here's a current look at the radar. Some light rain here just to the south and the west of the metro area. This will continue to push north and east as we head through in the next few hours here. As we go into tomorrow, rain showers will quickly clear. We're left with 80-degree weather. The 80 is making a nice comeback for us over the next few days. In fact, mid-80s possible as we head towards Saturday and Sunday, thanks in part to a pretty breezy wind that should set up for us on Saturday. So tomorrow morning, late morning here, a stray shower left for us. Otherwise, temperatures in the upper 60s, close to 70. We climb into those low 80s with increasing sunshine as we head towards the later half of the day. And winds a tad on the breezy side for tomorrow, looking more at Saturday here with some gusts that could be as high as 20 to 25 miles per hour. So your timestamps down here at the bottom, even through Friday afternoon, we will look at the potential for some gusts up to 20 miles per hour here. So that breezy wind out of the south will help us climb into those 80s as we head towards the weekend. Now, the Rock and Roll Marathon going on here, our temperature right around 68 at 7 o'clock. Pretty warm start for a marathon with temperatures near 70. The good news is at least we're dry, and I don't see a very humid start to the race. We will have mostly cloudy skies around, but the humidity shouldn't be too oppressive even for an early morning race here. Temperature around 72 at 9 and getting pretty warm as we head towards 11. Those winds again will be a tad on the breezy side, about 10 to 20 miles per hour with gusts as high as 25. So we walk you through the remainder of tonight, and you can see those showers continue to fill in as we head through the overnight hours and into tomorrow morning. May wake up with some rain around for the morning commute, cloudy skies with a few showers. And then as we head towards 12 noon, you can see that cloud cover begins to clear a little bit to the west. May try and eke out one more shower as we head into the late afternoon hours, but we keep mostly cloudy skies around for the beginning of the day on Saturday. The potential for a stray shower is possible. It's not real great, and I think it does come in after the marathon is over, which will be after lunchtime mainly. And then into the evening hours here, Future Track's trying to paint a few more showers around for Saturday night. Into Sunday, partly cloudy skies. We'll see those temperatures in the mid-80s and scattered showers possible for the start of next week. Next week looks to have a little bit better chance for rain for us as we see low to mid-80s likely for much of next week.
Buying a home and retiring. Bookends of the...
I don't buy it.
Judge Judy.
Weekdays at 4 on Fox 17.
This Fox 17 newscast is sponsored by the Nashville Predators.
In the economy tonight, new research finds inflation is causing some people to give up on the American dream of owning a home or, in some cases, being able to retire.
Well, Fox 17 News' Atra El-Nashar has a closer look at the obstacles.
These days, if you can afford to buy a home, you're in the minority. 78% of aspiring homeowners say they just can't swing it, according to a new Bankrate survey. The top cited reasons: lack of income, high home prices, and not being able to afford a down payment and closing costs.
Even a modest down payment plus the closing costs can be a significant chunk of change. You're talking something well into the 5 figures, even if you're making a modest 3% down payment.
The survey found people in rural areas have a harder time affording a home, reporting lower incomes than those who live in the suburbs and cities.
But what we are seeing is that household earnings are growing faster than inflation. That's a key ingredient to being able to ultimately close that affordability gap.
But it'll take a lot to close the affordability gap on another American dream milestone: retirement. AARP's latest financial security survey found 20% of adults 50 and older have no retirement savings.
It's hugely alarming, and it especially affects people who need those retirement savings the most. About half the workforce in the private sector works for someone that doesn't offer them a retirement benefit.
Even when you factor in those who do have savings, half of adults say they're worried they won't be financially secure when they are able to retire.
Things like the kids' dental bills or the car repair or something like that takes priority over saving for the future.
One bright spot in AARP's findings: a slight uptick in optimism about the future among adults 30 and older, likely due to stabilizing inflation. AARP says here in Washington, there's a lot policymakers can do to set future retirees up for success, like passing laws to provide retirement savings accounts for workers who don't get them through their employer, and make it easier to transfer those savings from one job to another. On Capitol Hill, I'm Atrell Nashar.
There are now at least 2 human cases in the United States of bird flu, or avian flu as we know it. I'm Liz Bonus. How to protect against it? It is just ahead.
Hey there, I'm Fox 17 News This Morning anchor Erica Glover, and I know summer is right around the corner, but we are talking about school lunches and a push to make them healthier. We're going to break down the new U.S. standards to limit sugar and sodium in school meals and why experts say it's a step in the right direction. That story Friday on Fox 17 News This Morning.
Scan the QR code on your screen to apply for the Sinclair Broadcast Group Diversity Scholarship. The deadline is April 30th. Visit sbgi.net/scholarship.
In your health news tonight, while cases of bird flu continue to go up in animals, we're now seeing a few human cases as well.
And that has the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention updating recommendations to help you identify the symptoms. Fox 17 medical reporter Liz Bonus has the story.
Hey there, hello to you. Human cases of bird flu, also called the H5N1 virus, have now been identified in the United States. The virus does have infectious disease specialists on high alert, and here's why. For years, this virus appeared to infect only birds, not songbirds such as cardinals or robins, but rather ducks, geese, chickens, and turkeys. All of these can be infected with H5N1. But infectious disease specialist Dr. Stephen Blatt told me once the first human case was found from close contact with an infected bird,
we are very concerned, and we were even concerned before COVID, that the next pandemic was going to be due to one of these bird flu viruses.
The USDA has just shared 239 recent genetic sequences from the H5N1 bird flu virus from poultry, dairy herds, and wild birds to try and help scientists find out just how to protect both animals and humans. While the risk reported right now to humans is considered low,
as this virus mutates, it very well could start to spread within human populations.
So far, only humans with close contact to infected birds have been infected with this virus. So the CDC now asking those who have this potential to be on the lookout for flu-like symptoms: fever, body aches, a cough, or sore throat. Prescription antiviral medications do appear to help people recover when given right away, and there is a vaccine now for H5N1 in storage.
They haven't made a lot of it, just made a few doses so that they could test it, and it does look like it produces appropriate immunity in patients who are potentially at risk.
And just so you know, Dr. Blatt says even though dairy animals and poultry are at risk for this virus, with the exception of eggs from potentially infected wild or backyard chickens, our food supply is still safe to eat.
So eggs and milk, if it were the dairy industry, are pasteurized or treated so that viruses are killed. And so you don't have to worry about that.
Now, the CDC has very specific information and recommendations for those exposed to the bird flu virus. Most of the symptoms do show up within about 10 days. With your health news, I'm Liz Bonus reporting.
Got a little system moving in, nothing to worry about though.
Nope. I think we're lucky, especially given the time of year in April. These are just some good old-fashioned April showers. Temperatures tomorrow do climb into the low 80s, and we are dry for the afternoon.